That was probably the biggest storm than any other storm we had dealt with.
Yeah,
Now that was.
it
I
was.
don't think nothing
As a
topped that
married
at all.
couple, that was like our climax of experience at, a high intensity with each other.
And that's when me and Joy got like this. We were like,
yeah,
we were.
Because my ATA was about to come out,
We were like,
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine.
Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point, you realized you were married into crazy.
And that's what our podcast is all about. We offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as we unpack this crazy thing called marriage.
So sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
All right, let's go.
Welcome to episode 87 of Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. I'm Lovey.
This is Snooks. Are you sure it's 87?
It's number 87.
I thought last week was 87.
Last week was 86.
Well, obviously.
Children, stay in school. Counting.
Hey, I'm learning at home. It's different.
Right? There's so many people out there teaching their kids at home right now.
Oh, my gosh.
During this quarantine. Look, kids, I've seen so many memes, but a lot of kids are out there saying, I want to go back to school because the new teacher likes to whip me.
Okay, or the new teacher doesn't know the new stuff.
Oh, right. I know there's a lot of that going on. Look, I know one thing. Teachers should be getting a raise when this is all said and done.
Everybody should write it in on their ballots or whatever. They need raises.
So true. Well, it is episode 87, which means that this is going to be the third installment of our COVID couple series.
Yeah, and we've been getting great feedback from the series. People are enjoying it. They like to see or hear how other people are living or how other couples are, some of the same challenges maybe that they're having, they're identifying with. So been getting a lot of feedback. We appreciate it too.
Yeah, I know. I just actually had something on Facebook just today, as a matter of fact, where there was a person through another person that saw one of our posts. Actually, it was a post that Aisha Taylor did. So we had Dr. Taylor on with her husband, Derek, last time. And
last week.
Yeah, it was last week. And so somebody responded to a post that she did on her own. And then I kind of reposted it. It was a really inspirational post. And she was like, wait a minute. So she's an OBGYN and she has her own business? And so I responded like, oh, yeah, she's a full-time mother, wife, OBGYN, and entrepreneur. I wanted to throw in there, you couldn't see it, but she's wearing a cape.
Right, superwoman.
Because Aisha's definitely superwoman, and she's got a super family with a super husband. And the wonderful part of doing the COVID series is showing that we have these amazing couples across the U.S., and they go through so many different things to ensure that they have a strong family network or a strong family, I guess, stronghold, a foundation at home.
Well, and the good thing, what I really like about it too is so much emphasis I feel is always placed on like the celebrities or what they're doing. And it's like we have our own heroes, that the unsung ones that no one sees and no one knows, or, they're not out there for millions and millions of people, but they touch a lot of hearts and lives in their area, in their surrounding circle. So I think it's great to be able to highlight those couples.
Oh, I agree. And the goal is to make sure that millions and millions of people do hear the podcast. So in order to do that, we're going to need you to go to Apple Podcasts and hit that like.
Stars.
Smash the like, or, give some stars.
Smash it.
I'm thinking Facebook. Right? No, so go in there, give us a like, give 5 stars, 4 stars, whatever it is. 5, put 5 on it.
Don't
see,
sing,
she doesn't want me to
please.
sing, but you made me do it.
Oh, Lord.
But
please,
go ahead and put
5 stars so he doesn't sing, people.
Yeah, okay, look, that's what it is. 5 stars, or I'm going to keep singing, and y'all ain't going to like it.
I'm the one that's suffering, though.
True. But go ahead and do that. Leave a comment. Share it with a friend. Get it out to your family, your friends, so that they can also hear these amazing couples. And today, we have a new couple. It's going to be CBOW, that's CBOW, like Country Boy Out West, and Snappa. CBOW and Snappa are new ones. They are YouTube sensations doing reaction videos. And today you're going to hear from them and what they went through. I don't want to tell the whole story.
Don't tell any of the story, babe. Let them listen.
Okay, I'll go ahead and let you listen. So without further ado.
Before we do, one more ado. I just want to say happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers. Mother's Day is on Sunday, so just want to give a shout out to the mothers.
So with that, there's nothing else that needs to be said. Here's the interview. We want to thank you for coming on the show. So today on Married into Crazy, we have Snappa and CBOW.
Hey guys.
Hey. What's up, y'all?
What's going on?
So, okay, give me your real, like not your real names yet, but so it's Snappa Red and Country Boy, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I gotta ask, where did Snappa Red come from? The name.
So as a female rapper, just rapping, getting started, going to different cliques and hanging out, I really didn't have, my first real rap name, I don't know if you guys want me to say it, it's nothing profane, but, it was Honey Blunt and Cherry Bum. I was in a group.
Okay.
So I was Honey Blunt and my rap partner's name was Cherry Bum.
Okay.
But when I was rapping, a guy was like, dang, Shawty, you be snapping with your red A. And he was like, that's it. It was Red Snappa. But as I continued to grow, I changed it and just flipped it around and said Snappa Red, because most people either call me Red or Snappa. They never call me them both. So most people were calling me Snappa. So I just kind of stuck with Snappa. But it came from me just being able to bust on the mic, and somebody kind of coined me as that.
Okay.
All right. And what about Country Boy?
You know what? It's so funny because I put him. So Country Boy started from a long time, but just the Country Boy piece started from a while ago. So like when I was in South Georgia, when I lived in South Georgia for a minute, I used to have a friend of mine. He used to always be like, "What up, Country Boy?" And I used to hate it because I was from Atlanta. I was raised in Atlanta, but all my family was in South Georgia. And when I would hang in South Georgia, he'd say Country Boy. I was like, "Don't call me that. I'm not country. I'm not country. Don't call me that." And so he would say that. And then fast forward, I moved to LA and we were living with my brother-in-law, and he'll call me Big Country. He'll like, "What up, Big Country?" And then I just got to a point, I was like, shoot, I guess that's my name. And then I put out Country Boy Out West, because we had moved to the West Coast. So I just Country Boy Out West.
That's where CBOW is, out west.
Right, Country Boy Out West.
Okay, I'm digging that. So I have to let all of our listeners know that the reason why we're talking with Country Boy and Snappa Red is because in our COVID couple series that they're participating in, we're trying to come at different angles. So you're going to hear different couples coming from different areas. We're going to have the high school sweetheart, we're going to have the college sweetheart, we're going to have the online dating, and we have the pleasure of actually having some internet royalty with us today, because Snappa Red and CBOW are our social media entrepreneurs that are just killing it when it comes to the YouTube game. So before I even get there, though, we like to get into the couple and then kind of see how that story developed, and then talk about what you're doing now. So
Okay.
I detect that little country boy, that little twang.
Very funny. When you said that, you were like, "I'm not country." I was like, California.
Like, please, I can't tell. Right.
So you're in LA, so you're originally from Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Snappa? Where are you from?
I'm from Atlanta.
From the ATL. So tell us how did you guys meet? How did you two come together as a couple, and how the heck did you get from the ATL out to LA?
You want me to start?
Sure.
Okay. So, all right, how we first linked up, how there was even an opportunity for us. So her cousin was one of my best friends. So that's how it first started linking up. And he had a party out where he lived. And so that night he was having a party, I was pulling into his subdivision. There was a small little Jeep, maybe a few feet in front of me, pulling into the subdivision too. No, it's pitch. You know how you go into those neighborhoods that have no lights? It's just black.
Yeah.
And so she's pulling in, and I notice as I'm behind her, every turn she makes, I turn. So she'll turn, I'll turn. She'll turn, I'll turn. And then I notice, I don't know if it was just me, but I noticed she started whipping it hard. And I don't know if you ever seen a Jeep, like the little Jeep Renegades, so like the small little Jeeps. Mm-hmm. It looked like it was about to go on two wheels, like she was going to flip it. So she going through the neighborhood, left, I'm right behind her, each way. So what happened was we finally got to my friend's street, and I immediately snatched the emergency brake in my car, jumped out so I could hurry up and get out the car before she got out the car, so it didn't look like I was following her. I hurried up and ran to the door. And when I got to the door, we walked up. I said, I wasn't following you. And we started laughing. And then immediately, before the friend of mine opens the door, I said, all right, tell him we came together. And then when he opened the door, I said, we came together. He said, no, you didn't. That's my cousin.
He's like, heck no. That's what he said.
And so we met at that party. We talked. Actually, she had somebody that was just like sweating her at the party. I never forget it. I mean, he was coming to me for advice. And I was like, dude, hey man, you just need to chill, man. You kind of thirsty over here.
That's crazy.
But it worked out with the dude, it wasn't him, and me and Joy started talking, and then it just became from there. And then
yep.
How long have you two been together?
It's been 11 years now.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 11 years.
Married how long?
9.
Yeah.
9.
Mm-hmm.
So what? How
together
long?
like a year and a half, and then we got married.
Yeah.
So we met in 2009.
09.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the next part of the question. So we had been, been dating, got married. 2016. I would say we started having a conversation around 2015 about we wanted to move out west. So technically, we didn't know where we were going. Joy was looking at PhD programs, and she was looking in the southern states. So South Carolina, Alabama, North Carolina, and possibly Minnesota. And so we went to a couple schools. She applied, didn't get in. It got to a point it was going to be between Minnesota, and she didn't know from there. And I said, okay, well, I'm damn sure not moving to cold Minnesota. It's not going to happen. And so she said, well, hey, my brother is out in LA. What about we move to LA? And I was like, so let's go LA. Let's go tomorrow. So we were like the Clampetts, maybe about, how would you say, 6 months from that point. 6 months from there, we had moved from where we were. We moved to an apartment where we can go month to month and just leave right from there and move out this way. And so we got here in 2016 May.
Mm-hmm. And in
so
that process too, we didn't really tell anybody our first chance. After we spoke about it with each other, he said, okay, we need to pray and fast, because he understood that with me, he started seeing how when praying and we fasted, things got to start to shift things. So by then, he was like, okay, what we need to do? And I was like, well, we need to pray, we need to fast, and let's see what God puts in our spirit and how we need to do this thing. And then my car got stolen. I was like, hold up now.
Lord.
I know. That was like the craziest thing. And then because at first I thought he was pranking me, and we hadn't even thought about channels then, just because he was that, silly and a comedian naturally. I said, he must have came up here and stole the car. He worked in Carrollton, an hour from where I was working.
In the country.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, he must be pranking me. And then later on, I realized that, okay, he wasn't. They really stole my car. But, from that, because at first we had no idea where the money was going to come from, how any of that happened. That's what I was going to say. With that, it was actually for our good. It turned out to benefit us, in a positive way, where we were able to use that to move.
So we only had so much. We only had so much set aside, and
wasn't much.
It wasn't much. It wasn't enough to come out here. We just knew we were going to make it happen.
Yeah.
And I know that God always works. That's one thing, God uses it for the blessing. Like he'll say, okay, well, he did this, but I'm going to make this work out for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And it did. It gave us exactly what we need to move out here. We didn't have jobs. We didn't have any of that.
We just had that $5,000.
And that's why, and that's how we end up naming our business. It's called 5K Dream Consulting, because that's all we had when we came out.
In our prayers.
Wow. So, okay, so talk to me about your fasting process. So, Joy, you led the charge when it came to fasting and prayer. What does that look like?
For me, it was, talking to God, having that relationship, being able to see him move in my life, first, and understand, okay, that can't be just me. You know what I mean? I'm praying, I'm talking to you about this particular thing that I desire and I want. And I see if I line up and do these things according to what your word says, then you're going to honor that. And just being able to learn and being around women of God, you know, at the time when I was single, that let me know, you know, this is growing up. It's like a religious type of practice, but having that relationship as a kid, you know, my parents didn't know how to tell me how to have a relationship. They just put God there, you know, and this is what you're supposed to do if this is, you know, if this is who you say you are, if this is as a Christian girl. But there was a disconnect, and wanting to learn for myself, I started seeing that, okay, it's something for real outside of me, and I can't control some of these things here right now, what's going on. So how do I begin to, you know, get more of what I want out of my life? And that let me know that the more I sought him and prayed and removed certain vices or vehicles at that moment, he was going to honor what I was asking because it was still good.
Right.
All right. So when you fast, did you do like a intermittent fast, or did you like just like a 24-hour fast?
It would be no food. Sometimes it would be a no food fast and just a liquid, or sometimes it would be like a smoothie type fast. It could be certain foods I would fast, certain, you know, music.
How long was the one we did before everything happened and then that transition out here? It had to be, well, we carried it on for a little minute because we didn't know. We were like, all right, okay, where the money gonna come from to live tomorrow? Because rent out here wasn't cheap.
No, and I think too, you know, dreaming, but also I feel like once he started seeing who God was in our lives, but he first had to see who God was in my life. Right. I really felt to see, because I would say things, and then he would see how it would move after that. And then he started trusting that, you know, more. So we would just, you know, praying and hearing the voice of God to say, well, you know, take this out. So we would fast alcohol. We would fast sugar and non, you know, productive movies, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we began to read more and, you know, and stuff like that. And we also were part of a marriage ministry, you know, in Georgia that helped us, you know, in the very beginning in our marriage, because it was really rough.
Yeah.
Ooh, child.
It was really rough.
I'm serious. At first, I was like, whoa, did I make a horrible mistake? I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah, that was rough. That was rough.
Neither of you have been married before, right?
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay. You elaborate. How did you go from woo child to, hey, let's move out to California together?
I feel like we attracted each other because we desired the same things and dreaming. He and I have been talking about this here recently. It's like we still always felt like it was something greater within us that we were supposed to do for the betterment of good. Right. And we both had the artsy personality. One thing that really attracted me to him is that he wasn't intimidated by me wanting to be a female rapper. And that was that's, you know, part of my story as a rapper, is that when I would tell a guy that I really did it, they didn't believe me until they saw me on stage in a club in Atlanta, and they'd be like, oh, she for real? Because somebody like, oh yeah, I'm a rapper. What does that really mean to the average person that doesn't know that you're affiliated with this, you know, clique, and you do shows with this producer and you're doing this thing, you know, they don't understand it. And he wasn't. I was like, oh, okay.
But how to make the woo child? The woo child is a totally different
thing. But it's still supported. It's still supported. You support it. You know, it was that support. And I would say little things, and I would see him try to do that thing I want him to change or work on. And over time, it just kept getting better.
It did.
It just kept getting better. And we dreamed together. I know I digress.
That's still one the woo child, though.
Sorry, y'all.
Well, yeah, my baby went. She was like, I went to start doing shows. I was like, what they got to do with woo child, baby?
Support. The key word was support.
No,
you know?
we had some fallouts.
We did.
We had some fallouts. I mean, me and Joy, we were like, we had contemplated divorce like a few times. We wouldn't even made it to the marriage point. I never forget that time when we were sitting at the park and I was just sitting in the truck and I was like, you know, I don't know if this, you know, I don't think this is it.
I remember.
We were sitting in the park at the school where we would go exercise, and we were just like, I don't think this is it. You know, how about you go, you know, get your things, you go this way, I'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like when the first, I guess, really talks we had, because me and Joy used to always be like, we never fist fought, but we used to verbally fight.
Bicker.
And I mean, it was crucial. I mean, it was crazy.
And I feel like too, it had a lot to do with the lack of spiritual, maturity. It was a big gap between the spiritual maturity. We have a, age difference between us. And I feel like that too could have been some of it, maturity, the lack of maturity.
Yeah, it was a lot of it.
But the willingness to improve and what attracted us to each other is what I feel. That's why I was bringing it around full circle. Is what got us, here were those things.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because thank God it wrapped
and that
around.
And being connected, too, with the right people, to tell you that, I had an idealistic way of what I thought marriage was going to be like, and that's.
Who was your character that you thought marriage was like? What was that show? It was something you used to watch. It was the what was that? It used to be like a dream. You know how little girl facade of what marriage looked like? You told me about it. I can't remember who it was, but it was kind of like, the white picket fence. She thought we were going to come out the house like the Cosby's.
Dallas. Y'all
Diane Carroll?
Dynasty? Well, yes.
Dynasty.
Falcon Crest, Dallas.
Okay.
Dynasty. All those kids shows had you thinking that marriage was just like, ha ha,
Child, it was like, dun, 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 dun.
But she's thinking like, angels choir singing.
Right.
Right.
He's got the doink doink from CSI.
Exactly.
Law and Order, yeah. That is hilarious.
But it came back around. It was really rough. It was very, very rough. And then we worked it out. And I think, I want to say last, but I think what we really, me and Joy got the closest we got was when we got closer than we ever had in our lives when we came here. Because when we came, you remember how things that shift? I stopped believing.
When we first
got here, I stopped believing. And then my spirituality came back. I got back in touch with God. And then we start.
In the midst of all this, the YouTube channel was birthed. In the midst of all that.
The channel was birthed like, what was that, 2016 over there with Stewart?
In LA.
And then we moved around to them. We stayed in rented rooms for people. That's when we got the closest we had ever been, ever.
Yes, been in one room your whole life, like every minute of the 24-hour day, you're in this one room space. It's like, where can you go? Because the people in the house, you really didn't want to be around because the energy wasn't the most uplifting. So we chose to stay in our room and just deal with it.
Just for the sake of the golden dream. But I'm sorry if we shot way past.
No, you didn't. I mean, this is the stuff that people need to hear, because I feel like, we always talk about how a diamond is formed, under pressure. So I could just imagine right now, being in just one room with Lovey 24 hours a day. I'd probably be wearing an orange jumpsuit right now. I don't know. But, it's like what you said earlier, you said you felt like the Lord had put something in your spirit and you all had you had something that you had to do for other people.
Right.
So you couldn't do that apart. I mean, maybe you could do it apart, but maybe not as effectively as you're doing it right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you're trying to walk away, he always got something else to be like, nope, come on, bring it back in. I'm going to show you how it's going to be done. You're going to get through it, and you're going to be able to bless other people,
Right.
So that's awesome. Don't ever apologize for the overshooting, because Lovey gets on me about it all the time.
Well, I'm curious, you made a couple of statements. You said, okay, so when you moved out to LA, you were, staying in a one bedroom in a variety of places.
Yeah.
That could not have been easy. I mean, so how did that, plus with you said that you lost faith and you brought it back, or God brought you back, but I'm just thinking that's like a gumbo of all kinds of mischief.
We can give y'all
but we started out in LA with my brother in a 2-bedroom.
Right. That's when it got rough. That's when it got real rough.
In-laws always.
That was
looking at the YouTube channel. Joy and Snappa just looking at each other. They're having a praise moment right now.
I'm like, think before you speak. Think before you speak.
I know. I ain't gonna just.
That's right. Peach's leg. You better get it right.
Because then look, you'll know who could go back and see the video.
My brother might be listening. No.
So let's talk about that. There's dynamics that come into play, right? You got family, but then so talk about that. What was that process going from moving out west, going in with your brother, brother-in-law, and then to in that journey to get you to where you are now?
Well, we started off with my brother-in-law, and it was crazy. You want to like even including how the channel started when we were?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
So start off my brother-in-law. I was working at UCLA, and at that time I was watching. I watch a lot of YouTube to this day, a lot of YouTube, and so I was watching YouTube because I couldn't figure out what we're going to do. It was like, all right, we're in LA. Like, oh man, I've always wanted to be here since a kid. What are we doing? Joy was applying for schools out here. She was trying to get into PhD programs out here. I'm like, what am I going to do? Because I am like, I'm on the bus riding down Wilshire from our apartment, passing by the McLaren stores and Beverly Hills, and I'm like, all right, Lord, this got to be something else because I'm on this bus right now. I'm riding this bus, and it looked like people out here living lavishly. And I was watching YouTube at the time, and I said, okay, all right, like what do you want me to do? So I'm out there, I'm looking at YouTube, and I start watching like stuff like reaction videos. This was like early 2016. And I brought it back to Joy. I said, hey, Joy, let's try to do this.
But before we talk about that, I want to talk about the fact about my brother and us.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, for sure.
Kind of to touch on
however y'all want us to follow the trail, because we'll go way out. Well,
so
whatever.
Okay, so with that, I think it was the dynamics was just us, being there with him was just a little different,
What's different? What you mean?
Just a little different.
So. When you go from us only being together for as long as we have to now we in a maybe 900 square foot apartment with my brother-in-law and his dog, and like he used to only think like take your shoes off when you come in the house, make sure this sitting right here, and we all sharing this apartment.
So it was a little rough at first,
yeah.
But I think we figured it worked through it, because it was still my brother.
Right.
It was still rough.
But I think through that,
right,
the YouTube channel came.
Yeah, the YouTube channel came from that because he's an actor too. So that kind of helped with the dynamic on the energy as far as like doing something greater than what we had been doing.
Okay.
And so I was watching, like I was saying, I was watching YouTube videos. I brought it back to Joy. I said, hey, let us try to do reaction videos. So we end up getting remember I got my cell phone and I loaded this little app on there. We on the couch and we were recording it, and we were doing our best, but it was trash. It was trash. And I don't even think I uploaded it. And so I went back and started looking at stuff. And if you look at our channel, our very first video was our reaction channel. I mean, we didn't have lights or anything.
You couldn't have see us. It was really dark.
It was dark. It was pitch black in that room.
Yeah.
And I got 2 lamps and took the lamp off the cover off of them and just set it right there while we recorded videos. I couldn't sync up like the sound. So like it was like it was almost like, you ever seen old Chinese kung fu movies?
Oh, yeah. Right.
That's how it looked.
Right. But dim.
That's how it was. All right. And so we were doing that. We started early in the game, but then it would be intermittent. So we would record a bunch of stuff, and then I couldn't see how you made money from it, or I didn't see how it was what I was going to do after it. I think I got tired of it because I started thinking about like, all right, I need to make some more money because I was only making so much when you work for the. It's not like you making a.
But I feel like he wasn't quite clear as to what he wanted, to do. And that when we moved out here, in the back of my mind, I felt like if I was going to do music, this was going to be the time when I moved back out here because I took a hiatus off for a while.
Right.
So when we got out here, that was in the back of my mind, and he was into bodybuilding. He's been into bodybuilding and kind of was going back and forth, but wasn't quite sure as to what he really wanted to do. We were in that, building phase. Didn't have a vision is what I felt like. We didn't really have a vision at that moment.
Yeah, no, we didn't. It was just a bunch of different things we were doing, things we love, but I was
doing multi-level marketing when I came out here.
Right.
And, you know, he was just trying to figure it out, but we both knew still we were supposed to be, you're supposed to be doing something. You just don't know what that thing is yet. You know what you like, you know what you enjoy, but this is the place that we just felt like God was supposed to be planting us out here.
Right.
We felt like we were supposed to be out here.
And I have been wanting to be here since I've been like 6 years old.
And so that's a difficult place to be when you're, relatively new in marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You've had some ups and downs prior to coming, and then you're like, okay, we're just going to take all that,
Mm-hmm.
pack it up, and then, like you said, like the Clampetts, and we're just going to move out to California and figure it out as we go.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, and with that, it's either Joyce said it when she said California's going to make us or it's going to break us. So we're going to make it, or everybody might end up having to go back. Well, no, we weren't going back home.
No, sir.
We're going back home. So
No
that's
way.
that's a lot. That's a lot, especially when you're trying to figure out who you are in the marriage and trying to work through the problems you have, and then you come together and you say, all right, let's just go over to an unfamiliar place. That was
Scary.
That was scary. I don't think there's anything scary to us anymore. To me, I don't think anything was more scary than that.
Mm.
So it sounds like things got better, though. You left, so you moved out from your brother-in-law, from your brother's place,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was all gravy, right? And you guys moved into, I see that look on your face.
It wasn't gravy. So what happened? All right. So how we made the transition from out of LA, we used to always go to this grocery store called Diamond Bar Farmers Market. It used to be maybe an hour outside of LA. So we drive all the way outside of LA every Sunday. So we go to this farmers market. And as we used to go out there, we used to be like, man, it's beautiful out here. It wasn't like really nasty like in LA, because where we were in Koreatown, and it just wasn't clean. And so we would go outward and it'd just be so beautiful. And then we end up, just when that lease time was coming up, we were like, hey, let's look out here.
And we were ready to also move out of LA because we weren't really city people.
Yeah, we're not city people at all,
we stayed,
actually.
Away in Georgia. We were kind of too far, actually, but we moved out and then came a little closer in as we were preparing the transition, out here.
But yeah, when we left, we went outward, and
Sage Canyon, that's where we were.
Yeah, and I was actually still working at UCLA, and so I knew I was going to have to quit UCLA also, because I was at that time driving a motorcycle. I was trying to drive my motorcycle back from UCLA to Corona. That's a very long way. That's like a 2-hour ride each way with
at
traffic
that time in the morning.
on a motorcycle.
That his wife suggested not to get. Now remember, the wife suggested not to get the motorcycle.
That's a whole nother story in itself.
That's a whole nother story in
itself.
We'll have to tell y'all about that.
That's a whole nother story. But we found our way. Everything ended up working out worked out. And so we lived in a nice condo in Corona. And I mean, really nice condo. But then in that time, the music came back. She wanted to get back into music. And I wanted to leave my job, which I still am trying to do to this day. And it was, what you laughing at?
You keep going.
And she's gonna watch one after the call in. She's gonna be like, see, now I heard you cut yourself when you said this, that.
It's all good, baby.
No, but so she ended up wanting to do the music. I wanted to leave my job. We said, okay, how are we gonna make things work? Because we got these bills we need to pay. So we said, all right, let's look at renting a room. Let's look at renting a room. We had never done that before, and we end up doing that. And that was a disaster. But
in this process,
that was,
I don't want to miss the fact of what he's saying of how,
which part?
things, are gravy. Meaning I feel like, we got to this place by going through a storm.
Right.
It's like you get out of one storm and then you get into another. You get out of one storm and go into another, because during this we had developed the podcast Marriage Real Talk, and how that came about is us just doing lives when I was a part of a multi-level marketing company who was really driven by social media. And that's how I became, very knowledgeable about social media marketing, things to, get people to, want to come to your page, all that kind of stuff. And we started having these real conversations about our marriage because, it was like, I felt like people want to know, women want to know, men want to know that it ain't all what you see on Instagram or Facebook, and let us share. We talked about it and we just started going live. And then that's where the podcast came out. But through all of that, it was like, I was still, what was keeping us in there is that we kept seeing it get better.
Yeah.
So we have a storm, it gets better. Then you have another storm, and it gets better.
better.
And then you have a couple more storms, you know.
And then right before that, I think maybe about 6 months before we left that place, we said, hey, let's start our YouTube channel back up, because we had stopped recording. After we had left LA, no, right before we left LA, we weren't recording. We weren't doing anything with the channel anymore. And that was 2016 to 2017.
Yeah.
No, 2018. No, 2016. We did it for like maybe 6 to 8 months, and then we stopped.
Uh-huh.
And so when we came out, we were like, all right, let's start the channel again. And before we left, the channel picked up a lot. I mean, literally, we had a video that went like semi-viral, and then we ended up getting a lot of, we got a lot of people in, and then we started getting the option to monetize on video. No, monetization didn't come until we moved.
Okay.
Remember?
Yeah.
We left and went to the lady's house.
Oh, really?
Right.
Was it there?
Yeah. Because
Okay.
the videos had picked up, and we were right around that time. It was time to move. We said, all right, let's go ahead and move. And we moved over to that situation. That was another storm.
So,
In that,
Look at Joy's face.
well, we could spend 2 hours talking about the storms.
the storm.
Hey, that was a typhoon right there, y'all. I'm just gonna tell you.
But in the storm, that was probably the bigger storm than any other storm we had dealt with.
Yeah,
No, that was.
it
I don't think nothing
As a
topped that
married
at all.
couple, that was like our climax of experience at, a high intensity with each other.
And that's when me and Joy got like this. We were like,
Yeah,
we were,
because my ATA was about to come out,
we were like,
So, you know what I mean?
and within that storm, we said, you know what? We said, we ain't dealing with this no more. Let's wrap this channel up. Let's see what we can get, what we can make happen. Let's see if we can make this better than what it was. And that's when the channel got even better, because we got so consistent with doing videos. And then we were like, oh, okay, I can see some stuff happening with this.
Okay. All right. Well, give me a condensed version. Let the listeners know in a condensed version, like what is a reaction video? Because you mentioned that's what you started looking at, and that's where you really found your niche.
Right.
So if you're going to explain what a reaction video is and what you do, how would you go about that? Like your elevator pitch.
A reaction video is a video of something that you're watching, and you're recording you reacting to the video while the recording is watching you watching the video. So you got a video up, we are giving our expressions, how we feel about the video, while the camera's recording us, so that people can see us record it. It's like an inception. So when you think about it, you got the camera on, recording us, and we are watching the video.
Yeah, so we're
So
reacting pretty much, giving our most genuine reaction to, it could be a music video, it could be comedy. Recently we just added some sports in, some different things, and then listening to what our subscribers are asking us to react to. But I feel like for me too, it's really just being genuine and giving our ad-libs and just being truthful about things,
Right.
We're putting out a little spin, giving some little nuggets we sprinkle in between, life nuggets, stuff like that, I feel.
Right. Yeah.
So how do you decide what type of video you want to react to? Do you have a theme, like, okay, we want this type, or how do you go and find your videos?
It depends. Sometimes, I'm not even gonna lie, sometimes it's based on how I feel. Like, I think I want to do this kind of video. It'll be it's a mixture between music that we would, we want to hear probably, but we, instead of just wanting to hear it, we like let everybody else see us watching it and see how we feel about the video. Plus, we would get a lot of comments from people that, want us to watch particular videos. So they start referring you to other videos to go watch. So it end up being, it's one of those things where it end up being like it can be an endless thing, because as you start watching more things, people start pointing you to other things to go look at and try.
But initially we were more so on music at first.
It was only music, and then we had that video kind of open up a little bit.
Yeah, and that's what happened. Our channel was doing pretty okay at first.
We had a,
it was amazing just being part of the Breve University community. To me, gave us that, extra motivation, help us kind of funnel a vision for this, being
Right.
connected to like-minded people, especially in couples as well. And when he was like, let's try this,
Mm-hmm.
then I was like, okay. And then next thing you know, it shot up to like thousands from like, it wasn't even at 100.
Yeah.
It
we hadn't hit 100. I think we were at, I think it shot up from, I remember it being like 50 or 60.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I looked, we had shot up, we was like in the hundreds. And then I looked, and then we had hit the 1,000.
And then from there, we're like, okay, let's do more of these type videos.
Right. Because they kept people kept coming back and they kept referring us, they kept commenting. And once you start getting like comments and stuff like that popping on there and people start sharing it and liking it, it pushes out to the YouTube algorithm and more. It pushes out to say, hey, y'all should, since y'all like these kind of videos, how about y'all watch this video? And then that's how stuff start picking up to where we are at this current moment.
So what is the name of your actual YouTube channel?
It's called CBOW and Snapper Gang.
CBOW and Snappa Gang. And how many subscribers are you up to now?
16.5.
Okay.
Yeah, 16.5.
So close to 17,000.
Close to 17.
So, so with the 17,000 or so that you have, what is like the highest, like the number one reaction video that you have? Like what are the amount of likes or views that you have?
The highest reaction we have is
A Bill Burr one, right?
no, it is Bill Burr. I think it's Bill Burr when he did
I think it's white versus black athletes. Is that one it?
yeah, I think it was no, it's
That one has 285. I thought it was that one.
it's the one we have with
Is that 285,000?
Yeah,
285,000.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And that one has like 900 comments, like 50, maybe I don't know if it said 20,000 likes.
Oh, okay. So
It was-
this one is our
Oh, there
black-
it is. Bill Burr Black Friends Clothing in Harlem. I don't know why people just gravitated to that one.
This one has 291,000 likes on it.
You know what? And that's funny with that video. I remember we did the video, right? And it was getting some views. I was like, some views are coming in. And I went to what's the grocery store out? I wanted to say Publix, but that's back home.
Ralph's.
So you have like a third of a million. So you're talking about almost, you're a full third to a million viewers on just that one video.
Just that one video.
That's amazing. That's beautiful. And so when you're looking at that, how does it feel to have that level of success in something you're doing together? Because you had mentioned Snappa was going, looking at schools. You were looking at, you were working at UCLA, but then started another job.
Yeah.
How does it feel like you guys are in these different directions doing your own thing?
Yep.
To have that together, what is that like?
What that made me realize is, okay, all right, God wants y'all definitely together. We are only gonna be successful as we're going to be as a pair. So it made me feel like, okay, this is exactly what we're supposed to be doing because we get better results together versus individually.
And I think too, it's becoming more clear of what our vision is through him the more we work together.
Right.
And us being able to see that when things work out, it's because he's told us what we need to be doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So as far as content and things, it's being, geared to more what I feel like the purpose is.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and that's the main point. That's why God wanted this to work out like he needed. God already know what you're going to do and he already know where it's going to go. But we had to see that. And as we start coming together, we're like, okay, so this affects people. Mm-hmm. I realized that, it affects people. I didn't even think about it like that. Just us on the camera. And then, so we started to notice that as the more people it affects, the more things are starting to change little by little. So we feel like, he put us together so we can have this platform so we can affect people's lives on a massive level. We don't know how it looks. We just keep on going.
Amen.
So does like, I know Snappa, you do the rap, CBOW, country boy. So do you all, you have individual projects that you do besides coming together for your channel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many channels do you have?
More so you than me.
Okay.
You got more individuals than you got more separate things than I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have 4 channels altogether. We have the kids channel, which is Dropping Jewels. We have CBOW and Snappa Reacts. We have Red and Chocolate, the family channel. And then I have Snappa Red TV.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, country boy?
It's our reaction channel and I have a little channel set aside where I put up like, I'll put up like ambient noises and sounds and things like that. for like while you're listening. Like I think I got one up like a pool drain noise, like noise that you want to
For meditation.
for meditation.
Like
Yeah, noise
and
that
silently working.
right.
This was done since COVID-19.
Right.
Too.
So I just been playing with that. Plus I focus on real estate.
Okay.
So that's why I call myself the YouTubing, real estate investing bodybuilder.
So do you bodybuild like for a profession or just
That's the goal, and that's what's always been the goal. But it's just me tuning my mind and actually going for it fully to get the outcome that I want. So yes, the goal is to be able to get sought, from a stage or sought from someone to say, I want to endorse this person, or I want this person to do this and that based on his look. So that's always been the goal. All right.
So what's your regiment as far as like, I saw Snappa on, it was on a Facebook and she was doing her workout. And
Right.
I said before on our podcast a couple of weeks ago, she made me feel some kind of way. And I was like, okay, my arms is jiggling and she got the muscles and the weight. So I'm about to start working out too. So she kind of inspired me. So tell me what your workout regimens are.
Well, right now, since we're doing 75 hard, it's 2 days a week. Since you can't hit the gym
2 times a day, every day.
2 times a day, every day. I'm sorry.
I'm like, I could do that one.
2 days a week.
Definitely not 2 days a week.
2 times a day.
I'm like, let me do that version.
No,
No,
that'd been
sir.
nice. That'd been nice. 2 times a day, and you're supposed to do it for 75 days. And that kicked in right after the gym shut down from COVID.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
literally.
pretty much this plan, which is either weightlifting with different, body parts, or
Mhm.
like a circuit,
Mm-hmm.
outdoor cardio, and then the dance class you may have seen me doing was cardio crunk, which is the inside, dance class. But I've always loved, working out since, young, 15. But yeah, and eating well.
And we bought like weights and stuff like this, and so we could train here at the house. So usually, before that, my regime was like I go hit it hard at the school. So I weight train at the school, and we weight train at the 24-hour fitness here. So it's a regime, not like the regime I truly want, which includes weights, but the gyms are closed. But yeah, I
That's
mean,
'cause
we're still
you got to
active.
step it up a little bit, though.
I know.
You have
know.
what you need. You just need to
Yeah.
step it up a little bit.
Tell him.
I
This is a
mean,
good segue. So,
it's something about being bored while you're in the living room.
but everything changing, right? So all of our routines have changed since the pandemic hit. So how do you think that what's the biggest, let me ask you this way. What is the biggest adjustment that the two of you have had to make as a couple as a result of shelter in place?
For me, I would say is I'm used to being able to really be on my schedule. And because he's working from, home and the other computers in there, my creative space is the bedroom now. And it was like the living room area. I had all of this and the kitchen to go and, write and do all my stuff. And now I'm having to adjust, and being able to get my creative vibe in another room has been a little challenging. And then sometimes if we are not on the same page, I got to get my energy back to a certain place so I can be in that creative zone. And that's been a little, shift, getting used to. But he's getting on a schedule. What would you say, for you?
Yeah, I think I'm so used to going out and leaving. Now I'm like home consistently. First, let me take that. I love it. It's just some details and kinks that had to be worked out, because this is what I want for our life full time.
Right.
Somebody at the door. That's weird.
Okay.
I'm not gonna answer that.
Sorry.
So we that's the first time I ever heard somebody knock on that door.
Maybe the postman.
Yeah.
That was a real reaction video part right there.
It was. What was that? But yeah, I'm sorry. We're sorry. So we just
That's funny.
So this is what this is the goal, right? The end goal that you're saying, being home, being able to work together without any outside distractions.
absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. And I still I think it's more bothersome for my wife than it is anything, because I would bother her. I know she's regime kind of person. Me, I'm just like, hey baby. No, it's 10:05. I need to do that.
Right.
And
Having
so-
to stop and fix lunch and, you know, do all of that. It was just like, okay, this is not what I'd be doing every day around this time. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we're going to
Right.
have to, you know, make some adjustments. Maybe I need to meal prep in separate containers. So all we got to do is pop our stuff in the microwave, you know, versus me having to fix our food and all that, because that's time taken away from me doing this, you know.
Basically, she used to be gone and not bother her. So now,
But it's still working out because I knew we eventually wanted to get up to this place.
it took about 2 weeks.
Yeah. No, I'm saying eventually with you working, you know, you being home full.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And I'm working, and I just, you know, I'm teleworking in the back. So we got like a setup right here, and then we got a setup in the like kitchen area too. So I just
What are
think
some lessons learned? So is there any lessons that you've learned aside leave Joy alone?
While I'm working. No.
No, but I mean, seriously, I think that there's always, in every situation, whenever there's adversity, there's a positive, there's a silver lining somewhere, there's a lesson to be learned.
Mhm.
And with you being in close quarters now, what is the takeaway? What do you think is one of the greatest lessons that you can take away and implement even after the pandemic?
we had to find better patience. So I
Well,
think we
one of
we found a stronger sense of patience than we would not have noticed that we needed for each other, because we didn't have that much time together that consistently.
That's true. We were always, you know, on the go. I guess just in and out working on our things.
Right.
Come together, work on this, and then we're back doing our, you know, own thing. But I would still say, you know, being able to recognize the fact that we still have areas to grow
Work on,
in.
yeah.
You know, because
When
when you're doing it, you're always, you know, on the move. You don't really zoom in to those little flags that come up along the way, you know, and you may deal with it for that second, but you don't go in, you don't dive in deep.
Yeah. You don't, because you're going to keep running to stuff that's going to keep reoccurring unless you check it.
But we realize, okay, well, we know we want to keep going up, so let's hone into these things that's coming up, but our willingness.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So what's next for CBOW and Snappa?
You want to say that?
Well, yeah, we're hoping to be able to blow up the other 2 channels and make them monetizable this year. So out of our 4 channels, we look to have 3 channels monetizing this year. And
I want our CBOW and Snappa channel to get to 100K. Need 100K.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for us, make our Red and Chocolate channel and as far as Together channel, we have Red and Chocolate and our CBOW and Snappa channel to a higher level. So which in turn bring subscribers, in turn, which bring the views, which in turn allow us to be home consistently.
Enhance too, for me, I feel like changing our content up a little bit, as well as, you know, really pushing our merchandise. We have merch, you know, on there that we're kind of redoing our logo and about to, you know, start rebranding. You know, I mentioned that to you earlier, Ernie, about, you know, looking into the branding part, because I feel like we with what we've learned and just not even really investing in ourselves just for particular YouTube, we have done pretty good, you know, getting ourselves to here and not really following a true method. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now if we really get with some experts who can help us with what we're trying to do, because each channel is kind of like a brand, it's a niche.
Yeah.
You know, and we've learned that our reaction subscribers don't want to really see our lifestyle. They don't want to see the pranks. They don't want to, you know, see about our family stuff and the challenges and all
Lord
that
knows
kind of
that we kept trying to push it.
we did.
Them folks like, back to the reaction channel.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
But I think trying some different content, doing some things a little different to keep, you know, being that vehicle of what God is, you know, allowing us to do, because he said that he was going to give us this vehicle to impact lives.
Right.
So you're not just on YouTube, you're on a variety of different social media, right? So tell our listeners where they can see you, all the different ways they can interact with Snappa and CBOW.
Okay, so we have the CBOW and Snappa Instagram page. We have a CBOW and Snappa Twitter page. We have a Red and Chocolate Instagram page, as well as a Red and Chocolate Twitter page. We have a Snappa Red Twitter page, Facebook, and Instagram page.
Right.
CBOW has an Instagram page and Facebook page.
Right.
So we're pretty much on all of your major platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
Gotcha. What is the craziest interaction that you had with any of your followers on your channel? Has anybody have you guys gotten into like an exchange? Like, okay, this is crazy. And
you know, you get it a few times. Joy tells me not to say nothing.
Well,
but look, I will. But sometimes you get. Let me tell you something. You get some disrespectful people. I mean, you get some.
Which is why YouTube is tightening up on their guidelines too. So they've changed many things on YouTube where they try to help, the YouTubers out by having less of the bullying. So you may see some of the videos where the comments are off, and that's because they may just decide because of this type of video and avoid having people say all this negative stuff, they won't even allow you to turn the comments on.
Well, usually comment turns off are usually for channels that have children displayed on them. So they cut those off for that particular bullying. Mm-hmm. But for our channel, which we don't turn that option on our channel, because that's an option on your settings saying, there are kids in this channel or things like that. So which they try to protect bullying. But when it's your channel and it's not a kid-friendly channel, people can still go in and say what they want. And then you have to determine, I'm going to block them, I'm going to cuss you out, or I'm going to delete you.
So what was the craziest thing that you ever read? Because I don't read the comments. I was like, I can't do it. I started one time, and then I responded back, because I was like, hold up. And then I started responding. I was like, wait, this is going to be the last time I do it, because I'll be spending my time trying to let everybody have it. And it's like, it's not even that deep. You're not going to be able to please everybody. And once again, this is our genuine reaction. So I'm not going to react the way you think I should react. I'm going to react based off of how it, resonates with me.
I'm still a little bit of Saul before he turned to Paul.
But when
they go on those channels, like to answer your question, hold on, like there hadn't been a particular one. There's been many. So I can't think of one. I just know it's been a bunch. And usually it's always something like, no. The very first time we saw that was the Bill Burr video.
Oh, okay.
And I heard people calling us like, effing idiots, and they called him like, oh, she's the female is a B. You get all that, because you got to think you got a lot of sick people that come look at your channel. They not help. We might be fine, but you got a lot of people that aren't right here.
So I guess nothing that really, stood out. It was just a mixture of things.
Oh no, I didn't reply about a lot of times. Oh, you must be talking about your mama. I didn't hit a lot of those. Like I said, I ain't turned to Paul yet. Now, I haven't got Paul yet.
That's real. That's a good reaction right there.
It's been a lot. It's a lot, and I don't even remember. It's been a lot over time. Sometimes I have to just say I'm gonna forget it, and then sometimes it just might just ring the bell a little bit. And I'm like, I gotta say something to you, or I'm gonna delete you. So
picking and choosing, I guess, is the best thing.
Yeah, you do. But sometimes some hit a little harder than others, so you really have to reserve yourself.
Well, that's good information for us as far as like with the YouTube and the negative comments, because Lovey already said, haters gonna come, and I was like, okay, let them come, but keep it clean, keep it cool.
Sure.
They're just gonna be who they are, not let them take me out of my character. So that's good. I'll remember that when I get some negative comments. I'm like, okay, they told me this was gonna happen. So
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
You can YouTube, and as y'all start building up your platform, you start getting a lot of various people from different places. You have to toughen and thicken your skin. I'll tell you that with this game, especially YouTube, you have to thicken your skin, because if you don't, the people can run you off. They can run you off.
See, and I think we're going to be okay, but I do like to let people know that had this been a different time, if I had been around walking the earth with Christ, I would have been the 15th apostle. So I would have been in that apostle in the back. Like, I'm not quite ready to walk with him. Mm-hmm. I'm going to stand in the back with some rocks.
Right.
I'm going to throw rocks at the people approaching, my 12 boys up front.
Okay, so don't even come near. Don't
You
even
said,
come
you
near.
said Jesus would have had to turn around and be like, Ernie.
Every time. Peter would have been like, that's my boy right there. And, you just would have had a word or two for me, like, you're not quite ready to walk with us.
Right.
You can walk in the rear.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
So, hey, we want to thank both of you for actually making time. I know your time is valuable. There's a lot. I know Joy's very regimented. Snappa is.
It's already carved out the time, for you guys, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, for sure. No, definitely on that.
No, we're super appreciative. And,
Very appreciative.
we want to tell all of our listeners that you do need to make time because you never know what you're going to see. There was an instance about a week or two ago where, you go grab that?
Somebody knock on y'all door too?
No.
The phone all of a sudden started making noise. Like, what the heck?
Oh, right? That's our reaction video. No, but I watched, I didn't watch Seinfeld,
Okay.
but I watched Seinfeld clips because you guys were doing reactions to them.
Right.
And I'm thinking, this show looked like it was pretty okay. So I could have listened to it. But it was good. I think there's something there for everyone, whether it be sports, whether it be comedy, whether it's, there's so much that you can get from it.
I do have a question. So you mentioned, Joy, earlier that you guys have merchandise. So where would you go and get some merchandise? Sorry.
It's on our page. We are updating it now, kind of changing it around a little bit, but it's on the link. There's a link, right, connected to the page.
Actually, I just turned the link off today because we're getting ready to redo our logo on and redo some things differently on there. But the link, it'll be back on there, and it points you to a website called Teespring, where you can purchase our merch.
Okay. Because I was like, did they say a website? I didn't think I heard you say a website. So okay, Teespring. Okay.
We definitely gonna do better about that once we come together and decide how we're gonna do it and what we want it to look like as far as on the merch. Then we're gonna start promoting it because that's what we weren't doing strong. She was doing a little bit more than me, but now we're gonna really promote it. Yeah.
Well, then what I recommend all of our listeners do is to ensure, if you want to make sure that you know when the merchandise is going to come available, and you want to be in the know, that means that you need to be looking at Snappa and CBOW on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. Find them, follow them, so that way when they make their announcements, you're already there. Get ahead of everybody else. Look, there's like 300,000 people that are watching their videos any given day. Look, you want to be at the front of that line, not at the back.
Thank you so much. This is so awesome. I really appreciate you for having us on here. It was really a humbling experience, and this is awesome. We love you guys, and your content is really, really dope.
Absolutely.
It really is. Because we know about that married into crazy.
Absolutely. I love y'all's dynamic.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Ernie be talking, and then you hear, no, that ain't how it happened. I'm like, all right, there we go. There we go. We about to get into some details.
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. I'll be like, let me do that part.
Look, okay, we about to do our 2 for the road because every podcast we actually use our I Can for couples where we actually pull one for the men, one for the fellas,
Okay.
one for the lady. She just did it right now. And so this is going to be what we do. This is going to be our focus for the week. I'm going to read that for the fellas. So this is for me and you, CBOW. This is, I can leave a note saying I love you.
Okay.
Okay. And for Joy and I can take an interest in my partner's hobbies.
Awesome.
Okay. All right.
So that's what we're focused on. So like we always say at the end of our podcast, until the next time, be blessed.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. You too. Take care.